Well, welcome back to the Performance Circus with our wonderful co-host, Bec Cole. Coley, how are you, darling?
I'm great. I have this new champion pink little crop, so I'm actually feeling really good about myself today.
You're looking good. That is the main part. Look good, feel good, play good. That's the way to go. The Performance Circus, we always deep dive into everything mental, physical, and lifestyle. Everything that can help us get to the next step, the next stage, the next phase in our life, whatever it is we're trying to accomplish. Now, we just spoke to Mr. Prime Train. Now, people don't really know his real name, so he might just be the Masked Crusader for now still. But if you've listened to the episode, Tom Bulash is his name. Prime Train is where he's at on his handles. And we had an amazing conversation with him. And one of the things we took from that, and we spoke about it afterwards, but we thought we'd touch on today, was when he was in such a bad place and he was in a very stagnant part of his life, he said that he set aside 5 things that he needed to do every single day, things that made him happy, things that he enjoyed. And I thought that was a beautiful power episode for us today. So I know behind the scenes we've written down a couple of things that we want to do as well when we're in a tough position in our life. What are the 5 things? And I'll start with you, Coley. 5 things in your life that you need to do every single day that you love, you enjoy, that you need to have an abundance of. So if you can kick us off with that. I know you've just come off the back of a huge performance last night, so you're sky high at the moment. Life's good, but when you find those days are tough or you find a patch in your day where it's not as easy, what are some of those things that you try and remind yourself of to check off every single day in order to give yourself the best possible outcome for that 24-hour period?
Yeah, I think this is really important because things aren't always, roses and sunshines and butterflies. So for me, number 1 is spending time with my family. I'm really lucky. Mum and dad live in Brighton. I'm in St Kilda. So for me, I'm either popping in. They're my best friends. Like, I only started adulting at 30. That's a year ago. So I only just left the nest. And for me, they really fill my cup up, and whether I'm seeing them for dinner, brunch, or just giving them a call, like 45 minutes to and from training, I'm probably bothering them, to be honest. They're like, you've left, leave us alone. But for them, that's number 1. Number 2 is FaceTiming wifey, Alice Koenig. She's my soul sister. She is my everything. So for me, we chat literally every single day, and we still don't understand how we have so much to talk about when literally nothing has happened. So always checking in on each other. And I think that's really important as well, because we are best friends and we have the same circle and do the same thing. We totally get what each other are going through. So that's something that I find is really important, that we know what's happening and we really know how to help each other get through really tough times.
And I think the grounding of each other, having someone that genuinely cares about you as a person, not Bec Cole the athlete, not Bec Cole, champion ambassador or whatever it is you have in your life at that moment. It's about who is Bec Cole, and I care about you genuinely. Like, how are you today? Are you okay? You sound, you look, you feel. Those are the things, I'm sure, they're the conversations you're going to have.
Honestly. And sometimes we'll have a conversation where, Alice just broke her wrist. Really fucking shit timing. She was supposed to be going away to Olympic qualifiers. And the other day we were on the phone. Hope you don't mind me saying this, Alice. But, she was upbeat like she always is, because she's so driven and passionate, determined, getting shit done. We got off the phone. It was quick morning chat. And I just texted her straight away. I was like, hey, what's up? How are you actually feeling today? Because I know you, and that's not you, and vice versa. That's happened. And I think that's something really special that we have, is even when, we're just trying to kick on and get on with the day. And so grateful I woke up today. So grateful, I'm able to go do what I love. But sometimes shit is hard, and sometimes you need those people. So absolutely, for sure. And then number 3, not as good as, you and your ice bath freezer bucket, huge coffin.
Leave my meat freezer alone.
Cold showers for me in the morning.
Love it.
I like that. Just gets me going for the day. And if sometimes you have those mornings where you wake up, I'm like, well, I just got hit by a truck. Yep. And then I do that and I'm like, oh yeah, no, let's go. And then number 4.
How long have you been doing those for? Because I know a lot of people have seen the whole ice bath, cold shower train, and they hear cold shock protein and they're like, I got no idea what a cold shock is. That a candy bar that we can have to recover? Is that got protein in it? But there is obviously the science behind hot and cold shock proteins and what it does, anti-inflammatory responses, helping with red and white blood everything that it aids, depression, anxiety, there's so many benefiting factors for it, but how long have you been doing it for? And is it a constant theme? Is it I'm going to have a cold shower in the morning and you know what? I'm going to have a steaming hot shower at night. Are you always cold?
I'm always cold. For the last year, I've probably done it. In COVID, obviously, that's when I actually was going in the ocean more in St Kilda. Depending how bloody cold it was, I was always definitely in my hips. Some days I was like crop jumper hoodie with a beanie on and I was like, oh my God. But that was something also to challenge me every single day. But for me, it also used to be like I would go do ice bars every day when I was at the VIS. Like that was something I absolutely loved. But now, say, timing, or I don't have a freezer like you to put myself in every day living in an apartment. So a cold shower is a must have. But when I go to bed, my shower it's a warm one. But
hot.
Yeah.
It's a hot bath.
Mornings or like before games, always. Like I always have to finish on cold. I'll have it warm and then I go cold. And I absolutely love it.
And it's a discipline thing. It's hard to do it. And the little things in life are hard to do, but they're also kind of easy not to do. You know, we just go, oh, it's only one. It doesn't really matter. But then that's the conversation you have internally where you can't really trust yourself to do the right thing every time. And that's where it comes into performance for me is I have mine morning and night, whether I want to do it or not, whether it's midnight after a Perth commentary and I'm getting home at 12:30 a.m. in the morning and I got training at 7:30 because I wake up at the arse crack of dawn.
Yeah.
It's like, do I really want to go and get in the ice bath for 5 minutes? But it's no. It is a no. But it's the mental discipline to say I'm committing to bettering myself mentally and physically, no matter how crazy it seems. That is the one non-negotiable I'm going to have. And I'm not going to reason with myself with a bullshit excuse because I've done that in the past and it doesn't get me anywhere. It allows me to have, I call it like gaps, but it's a weakness of, maybe not today, it's okay. Maybe I won't check in on my mate today. Maybe I won't box out. Maybe I won't run back. Maybe I won't. And then if I'm not doing it, how can I expect other people to do it no matter what it is in my life? So that's my consistency of why, yeah, it sucks, but I'm going to keep doing it.
Yeah, I like the way your mind thinks about that. Yeah, if you let one thing slip, hey, it could be the next one. I like that. That's good. And then my fourth one is I'm like such a random when it comes to I love giving compliments to strangers or people I know because it literally I also live in St Kilda where like people are weirdos and I love being like, yo man, love those sneakers, or like, hey girl, love that top, or like at training I'm all about the bum slaps, or like all about telling someone this is what you did really good today. Because honestly, like one person had said this, it was a stranger as well. I think I commented, I was like, hey, that's a really beautiful smile you have today. Like, have a blessed day. And they were like, thank you so much. Like, I was really having the worst day and that just changed my whole day. And I was like, oh, wow, like that's so special. And you never know what someone is going through. So for me, I love doing that because I'm like, that can make someone's day. And that is so easy to do. No effort, like no skin off my back doing that as well.
And it may never happen to you. A stranger may never say to you, hey, love your shirt, great job, like love your smile. But that's okay.
Yeah.
Just because you give a little bit of that, and it's a tiny bit of effort, but if you give just a little bit of yourself and it doesn't really take too much from you, well, that maybe has a really positive effect. And as you said, it's a really beautiful feeling when someone goes, you know what, like, thank you so much. Like that, you have no idea, just thank you. And you're kind of like, they must have had a really shit day, or it might have been a hard month, or interest rates have been rising. They can't afford to do something. And it's like someone just gave me a distraction, which made me feel good, which is sometimes the most wholesome feeling we can have.
100%. And then my final fifth one is, well, me and my partner, Daniel, we're just like very active people. So like normally at the moment it's summer. So being like poolside, I just like love getting vitamin D. It makes me happy, like makes my soul happy.
Vitamin D.
Yeah. So poolside with Bay, but anything that's like activity wise, like going for a walk, whatever that is, that also just like fills my cup up.
I love it. I think anytime you get with someone you care about is always going to be good for you, no matter who it is, no matter how big or small of the time or where it is. It's a consistency of, have I done some stuff for myself today? Yes. And they're your 5 things. If you do those things every day, I would guess that majority of your days are going to be at a higher vibration. We talked about this with Danny in previous episodes, Dyson Heppel, but everyone seems to have this. When I feel good, other people are allowed to feel good around me. When I feel like shit, other people tend to feel like shit after a while around me. And just having that higher vibration and frequency through your days is a consistent theme for, I think, all high performance people. And
do you find that, say, if there's a bad game, right, and the aura can be real negative. So if I'm talking to you and I'm like, oh, damn, we didn't do this, or that person, blah, blah, blah. Like negativity attracts negativity. Yeah, and then 100%. You both, like, that's where you need to take accountability. And I think it's like what Danny said, it is your responsibility on how you react to situations. And like, I definitely found myself last week being in that thing. And then I was like, no, I'm going to speak up, like say how I'm feeling. Let's have an honest conversation. Okay, let's get past weight off my shoulders. And then I came and saw you at the podcast and like, I just had a great day. And I was like, all that is because I took accountability and responsibility for how I was feeling, actually did something about it. Yeah, and then I left, gave you a cuddle, and I was like, what a bloody good day I had today, you know?
You were hop, skipping and jumping out the door. It was good. It was really good. But then we had one podcast, I remember you said this was the highlight of my day. You're like, I'd learned so much. This made me feel good now. Like I had a shit day and I was struggling and this made me feel a lot better. And I had left the conversation just thinking like, fuck yeah, we smashed that podcast. That was sick, like really cool. Not realizing that we did a great job, I thought, in what we presented, but then also like the effects it has on each of us is pretty cool.
It is. And I love how much like I go away after we speak to people. One, you like need your own book, or I want to like provide your own t-shirt brand of all these metaphors you come up with. Because I do. I call Gary and Roz. I'm like, oh, we did this podcast. This is who we interviewed. And Creaky just said all this, and like GC loves that stuff. So I feel like you need to catch up for a coffee.
Yeah. Me and GC, we'll go and get a couple of $8 cappuccinos from Brighton.
For facts.
It's his shout though. If you live in Brighton, it's his shout.
Brighton. But Creaky, I want to know what your 5 are now. Give it to me.
Okay. I would say FaceTimes with my family. I have a favorites list in my phone, and typically I try and go through and have 3 or 4 FaceTimes a day. Same kind of thing in the car driving. You know, I don't really pay much attention to them, but I like them to be able to see me, see that I'm in an upbeat mood, or if I'm talking, like, you know, I can at least have a real conversation with them. If I'm on the phone, I can kind of bullshit my way through it a little bit. And, yeah, it's great. I'm on my way to training. I'll buzz you back later. But if they look at me, they're like, mate, what's going on?
Yeah.
So definitely FaceTimes with my family. I love them so much. I miss them so much. I don't get as much time with my sisters as I'd like to. Some of my brothers that, you know, aren't direct family, but I literally consider them family. I don't get to see them very often, but that for me is a consistent check-in. The second one is ice bars, non-negotiable. I've talked about it. It is literally my most loved and hated thing, but it is a 5-minute in the morning, a 5-minute at night, and there is no waiver. There is no, oh, maybe not. It's just do it. And in my head, I literally kind of say to myself, all right, it's hard. Yeah, I get it. But you know what else is hard? And I list off some of the things in my life that I would be considering to be hard. Pressure, you know, losing games. Like we've absolutely laid eggs for the last 6 games in a row. It's nice to be able to go home and go, at least I'm trying to tick the boxes to be better today. So ice bars is definitely number 2. Riding my motorbike. I like to ride every day. Rain, hail, or shine, I will ride my motorbike. Getting on my bike is the greatest feeling. Put my helmet on. It is quiet. It's this muse. It's like the horse with the race blinkers. You don't see anything else. You're hyper aware and sensitive to everything on the road because you're watching all the traffic conditions, the flow of the cars, who's turning, who's merging, who's on their phone. You see everything. So you actually become really, I guess, attentive and aware. And for me, it's like a brain fog goes away instantly. I get on and I just listen to the bike. I can feel everything and it's amazing. So it's the same when I race. It's the same when I do anything that I like to do. It's all about the feel of it. Skydiving, people think it's crazy. It's not. It's attention to detail of feel and a fine skill that you have to be able to fly through the air and realize where the relativity of the wind hits you to be able to be stable. And that's one of the hardest things. So having that is one of my favorite things. If I get on my bike, I'm happy. If I get to have a passenger, It's so much fun because you scare the shit out of like my dad and my mum, my sisters get on the back. I've had Gibbo on the back. I've had mates.
Gibbo.
Yeah, we've had some absolute rippers. We went and saw Limp Bizkit a couple of weeks ago. My best mate and I, he's 6'4" and like 100 kilos. And he sat on the back and he's just like holding me like we're just right into the city, parked at the front of John Cain Arena, jumped off, saw Limp Bizkit, was wild, got on the bike, rode straight out, and there's just peak hour everywhere, no one moving, and we're just like,
zipping through. And you would purposely scare the shit out of people, which I love as well.
It's a rather obnoxious bike. So yeah, you give them a couple little like limit taps and bop, bop, bop.
And I will say, look, it ain't no like motorbike what you're riding, but my partner has a little Vespa
I love that.
Around St Kilda, and literally I love it. Like for me, obviously passenger,
Awesome.
can't ride that. But for me, I'm like, oh, I always say, I'm like, this was just like free therapy. It is so relaxing.
Yeah.
And the wind, like you said, the feeling of it. So I totally get that. And yours would be on like tenfold because it's like a skirt one.
It's a bit of a skirt one, but it's just because it goes fast and it's angry doesn't mean that's how it feels. It's actually the exact same feeling, but it's just kind of, you can be a little bit more like zippy and, you know, we follow the rules, but we definitely slightly bend them sometimes as we zip around. My last two are pretty similar, but one is make someone else smile for no reason other than kind of what you said. Just say something, get a reaction, have a conversation with a barista or whoever it is. And the last one is teaching someone a skill that can help them. So whatever it might be, I always want to try and teach someone something every day. Or if it's not teaching someone, it's learning a skill from somebody and allowing that to absorb into me. So I think everything I learn, I try and at least give a minute, 30 seconds, 10 seconds, a little tidbit, whatever it is. Can I give you something that can help you on your path, wherever that is? It might be basketball, and predominantly it's about, you know, mental, physical and lifestyle stuff. Now, I am no expert whatsoever. I have not got all my shit figured out. I've not got all my ducks in a row, but I think I've got a few ducks in the pond somewhere. I've just got to eventually align them all and say, okay, now I'm figuring it out. But even the most on point, professional, high-end people in the world still don't have their shit together. They're just really good at outsourcing other people to kind of get the ducks separately and help them put them in your vision. And I think for me, that's all I'm trying to do at the moment. So I had a wonderful young girl today. She's in the under 20 state team. I told her, a friend of mine who's a part of Wolfpack Hoops, Bec McIntyre from Horsham, shout out Bec. She goes, I got this girl, she's like 6'8", she's, 17, she's a beast, she can do this. We got nationals coming up and I was like, bring her in. Let's do a session. Did a session for about an hour and 15 minutes before training today because I was like, I want to try and help this girl as much as I can. We had so much fun and it was literally like probably the most enjoyable session I've done in the last probably 2 or 3 months because she was just full of beans. She was so excited. She felt like a bit of an outcast a little bit because she's 6'7" and she's 17.
Nuts.
She's well built, she's strong, she's coordinated, and we did a whole bunch of stuff. We lowered the ring, we were dunking together. Like it was a heap of fun. And that for me is what life is all about. Helping someone get to where they want to get to, allowing them to learn and be curious and ask questions and just leave it up to them. You ask enough questions, you'll find enough answers. And I think that's the best thing that we can try and give anybody, but also asking those questions yourself because someone else will give you those answers.
I agree. And I think you do that so well. Like I feel like before we started this podcast, you were in Puerto Rico, I was in Melbourne, and we were just talking about life. Like sometimes we got off topic and I was like, damn, I need to go to my notes section. Creaky just taught me so much like today. But I think that is something I want to say praise you about because I feel like you are such a giving person and you have gone through a lot in life and basketball that you can like allow other people to learn through you, whether it was a really proud moment or mistakes, whatever it was, like that's what we're supposed to give back. And I think that's awesome. Something that I think is also super weird, but probably makes sense why we're doing a potty together is our answers were like so similar.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of alignment there now.
I know we're more fit into each other.
You know what? If we get some cool sponsors on board and they deck us out with some cashola, I'll buy you a chest freezer and I'll deck it out for you.
Done.
Deal.
There
we go. Look, amazing. I love it. 5 things that can help you in your day-to-day life that you feel, you enjoy, that you need, that you want. That's what allows you to grow into the person you want to become and the person that you want other people sometimes to look at and say, hey, I'm really proud of you. That's an amazing job you're doing. So if you are feeling a little stagnant, if you are feeling a little lost, just write down a couple things. Just start with 2 or 3. If you can't have 2 or 3, that's fine. Just start with one thing that you enjoy. It might be, I don't know, going for a walk in the sunshine. And if you live in Melbourne, you're going to have to get rid of the sunshine part and you're just going to have to walk with the hoodie on.
In the rain, hail or shine.
Yeah. But start slow, baby steps, and then reward yourself. Oh, I'm really proud I did that today. That's really good. That self-talk actually allows you to feel better about what you've just done. And if you consistently do that, I think we'll put ourselves in a pretty good position. So
agreed.
Awesome.
And being able to tick that off, like for me, I'm a big person. If I have a to-do list or like goals I want to achieve, being able to tick that off, that gives you like some sort of satisfaction as well, and knowing, hey, great job, proud of you.
Love it.
All right, guys. Well, that is our Power Ep, thanks to Champion. So if you enjoyed listening to Creaky and I, like, subscribe, share, leave a comment, and we'll see you at the same time next week. This is the Performance Circus.